Welcome to this semi-final episode of HDFC Life presents Jeet ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. Jane achieved this feat in 1997.
Deandra Doughton
Deandra Doughton
and fastest 100 in a...
minus 100. Nat Team.
We'll say India versus Sri Lanka.
Both teams. My general warning would be, please allow me to read the question and then go for it so that you know exactly what I'm asking for.
The temperature is rising across the globe. And what else is heating up? That's our cricket quiz. We are down to second semi-finals. Welcome to HDFC Life presents Jeet ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. To proceed with our quiz, we need Mr. Venki Srinivasan, the quiz master. Hello, sir.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, welcome to this semi-final episode of HDFC Life presents Jeet ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. This national level cricket quiz open to all saw phenomenal participation with over 1,500 teams taking part in an online prelim. From there, we had the 8 best teams come here and do battle against each other in 4 very exciting Super 8 rounds. And the winners of these 4 Super 8 rounds have booked their spot in the semi-final. In doing so, they've already won themselves some amazing prizes. But both teams today will have their eyes on the big prize, the spot in the final and the chance to be crowned the champion of the first ever edition of HDFC Life presents Jeet ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. We have 2 amazing teams today who are going to take part against each other. It's time to now go and meet our 2 teams for today. Our first team in today's semi-final, in the white corner, so to say, call themselves Nat Team. This is a team of 2 quizzers from Chennai and Bangalore. Please welcome Ramesh Natarajan and Mitra Varun. Good to see you guys again and all the very best. Please take your seats. All the very best. Taking on Nat Team today in the red corner are going to be our team from Mumbai. They call themselves Potoldanga Thunder Club. We call them PTC for short. Please welcome Prithvish Datto and Dipanjan Deb. All the best. Good to see you again and play well. All the best to you. These are 2 of the best quizzing teams in the country who've made it past the preliminary round, won their Super 8 rounds and come here into the semi-final. We're going to first talk to them, find out how the nerves are, what the tactics are, how they've changed from the Super 8 round to the semi-final round. We'll do that first and then get started with this cracker of a semi-final episode on HDFC Life presents Jeet ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. The semi-final is truly on between Nat Team and PTC. Nat Team, you had a very, very close Super 8 round. It went down till the last question. How are the nerves now?
Slightly better. We just hope we haven't exhausted all our luck yesterday and something is still remaining today.
Okay, what, any tactics to reveal? Any strategies planned for today's game?
Nothing in particular, but I think if there is an opportunity, we'd like to see if we can do better on the buzzer rounds.
On the buzzer rounds?
Let's see.
All right, all the best to you. PTC, always a team that's not very animated most of the times, very calm under pressure. Yesterday was rather comfortable. The Super 8's episode was a rather comfortable win for you. How is the mood for today?
It's a new day, as they say, in a new game, in the game of cricket. So we'll take it as it comes.
We'll take it as it comes. And, Prithvish, how is it teaming up with Dipanjan in these quizzes?
I mean, it's always, as they say, it's better to see from the non-striker's end. So,
okay, better to see the master go at it from the non-striker's end. Interesting. All right, with that, we'll get straight into the rules for today's quiz. Today's semi-final episode of HDFC Life presents Jeet ka Insurance Quiz has 4 rounds, 28 questions, 2 rounds each on passing and buzzer, with a baseline of 100 points for each correct answer. We do have some interesting twists in the semi-final round. We'll tell you about those as we go ahead. Let's get straight into the first round. Our round 1 is called Opening Over. You have a grid with 8 topics. Each team will get to choose 3 topics alternatively, starting with Nat Team. The topics, of course, are cryptic and the questions will be related in some way to the topic chosen. Now, the one change from the Super 8 round is that you have a DRS option. You can exercise the DRS option once in this round. after you choose the topic and see a question. If you think you don't want to take a chance on that, you can exercise your DRS once. No penalties on exercising the DRS. You will just get another question, and if you don't answer that question, that will pass to the other team. You can do this once across your 3 picks that you do in this round. So there are 8 topics and 6 questions will actually be asked. 100 points, of course, both on a direct and a pass. If there are 2 parts to a question, I will mention that, and we'll give 50 points each if the parts are correct. All right, let's see our grid for the opening over of this semi-final. Here it is. Royal, legal matter, aggression, first of a kind, connected, 6 giants, honor and patrons. Nat and team.
We'll take legal matter.
Legal matter. All right, here is your legal matter question. We're starting the quiz with the legal matter. In 1929, an experimental law was introduced called the Snick Blank, S-N-I-C-K, Snick Blank, which thankfully died a natural death. The law would have resulted in a lot more dismissals if implemented. What was this proposed law?
So we'll say that even if the ball hits an inside edge and then hits the pads, there is still an opportunity for the batsman to be given out LBW.
That is the right answer. Snick LBW it is. If the ball hits the bat or the gloves of the batsman and hits the pads in line with the stumps, you could still be out LBW. Snick LBW is what it was called. Great answer to begin the quiz, Nat and team. 100 points to you. Over to PTC.
Honor.
Honor. Okay. For this question, we require a specific 2-word answer, right? Hemu Adhikari achieved this with a lifetime of service and a series of promotions, while another person was bestowed this after the 2011 World Cup win. What are we talking about? I need a specific 2-word answer.
Lieutenant Colonel.
Okay. And who are the 2 people? Hemu Adhikari, we told you. MS Dhoni. And MS Dhoni was Lieutenant Colonel in what?
Indian Army of...
It's called the Territorial Army. Absolutely right. Lieutenant Colonel is a bang-on answer there from PTC, showing their class, both the teams. You know why these are some of the best teams in the country. Hemu Adhikari was an army serviceman and after a series of promotions became Lieutenant Colonel. Mahendra Singh Dhoni, after the 2011 World Cup win, was bestowed the honor of Lieutenant Colonel of the Territorial Army. Good start by both the teams, 100 each. Nat and team.
We'll take aggression.
Aggression. It was insured for more than $300,000 during his playing days, though it had no direct relation to his performance. If anything, it was a symbol of his undying spirit. What are we talking about? We, of course, need a player's name in your answer.
We'll take the DRS.
You want to take the DRS? Not sure about this answer? All right, we'll allow you to take the DRS, but we have to give out the answer to this question. If you had to hazard a guess, what would you say?
No, my guess would be something around Bradman.
Around Bradman? What would you say, PTC?
Gavaskar skull cap.
Gavaskar skull cap. Nice guess. The answer we were looking for was Merv Hughes' moustache. Merv Hughes' moustache. A lot of people kind of, compared it to his aggression and his performance, but it was just a symbol of his undying spirit. All right, DRS taken by Nat and team. What is the alternate topic you'd like?
We'll try 6 giants now.
You'll try 6 giants. Neville Cardus chose the 6 giants of the Wisden century in 1963. The most glaring omission in the list was a player who Cardus had described as someone who would bend any rule to ensure that he is in my team. Which player who at one point was also Jack Hobbs' opening partner?
We are saying Sutcliffe.
You're saying Sutcliffe, that passes to PTC. It's not Sutcliffe.
Len Hutton.
Len Hutton. Nice try on Sutcliffe and Len Hutton. The correct answer was Wilfred Rhodes. Wilfred Rhodes was the one who was the glaring omission in Cardus' 6 giants of the Wisden century. Tough one there for Nat and team. PTC. Royal. This writer and producer was involved in scripting of the TV show The Crown, but later cut links because they felt that Princess Diana, a close friend, was not being given her due. Who is this person with a prominent cricket connection?
Let's go for a DRS. We'll go for a DRS.
You want to go for a DRS? Not sure on this? Okay, what's a guess you would make?
Stephen Fry.
Stephen Fry. Okay, and what's the guess you would make, Nat and team?
Ron Howard. Who's the guy who's the director?
Stephen Moffat.
Stephen Moffat. Not Stephen Moffat. Person we're looking for is Jemima Goldsmith Khan. Jemima Goldsmith Khan. She was the person who was originally a writer and producer involved with The Crown, and she had the close links to Princess Diana, of course, at one point married to Imran Khan. All right, DRS exercised by PTC. Your topic now, please.
First of a kind.
First of a kind. He had a brief test career in the 1950s and was renowned as a safe pair of hands. He was at the other end when Hanif Mohammad made 337 and 499. But what first is he remembered for?
So, this first night watchman to score a test 100, Nasimul Ghani.
Nasimul Ghani, first night watchman to score a test 100. Good guess, incorrect. Nat and team will need an answer.
Okay, we'll say the first cap for Pakistan. in
First
test
cap for test cap for Pakistan. Nice guess again, incorrect. Your for Pakistan angle is correct. The first non-Muslim or Christian to play for Pakistan, Wallace Mathias. Wallace Mathias, the first non-Muslim or Christian to play for Pakistan, was at the other end when Hanif made both 337 and 499. Another toughie there. This is, of course, the semi-final. The questions are going to be much harder, but these are amazing teams. Nat and team, connected or patrons?
We'll take connected.
Connected. David Fritz's book, titled By His Own Hand, is a study of some 80 cricketers ranging from Aubrey Faulkner to Jack Iverson to Sid Barnes and Baka Jilani. What is the non-cricketing connection between these players, or what is the subject of this book? Time for an answer, Nat and team.
We will say they're all connected by the fact that they served in a war.
They served in a war. That's a nice guess. PTC, do you have a guess?
I'll say some.
Need an answer, please?
They retired after.
They retired after? I'm sorry, that's incorrect. The correct answer here is a rather sad one. By his own hand, these are all cricketers who ended up committing suicide. So, all cricketers who ended up committing suicide by their own hands. Tough question again. Tough luck, Nat and team. Last question of the round. Patrons, no choice in the topic. The Khimji family, Khimji, have been patrons of Omani cricket for generations, with the family's late patriarch, Kanaksi, even being given citizenship. He also had another honorary title, which is even more unique, the world's only blank blank. He was awarded this title because of the family's contribution to Oman as a whole, and specifically to Omani cricket. The first blank is 5 letters. The second blank is 6 letters. And the second blank is a word you would associate with that country, with Oman. So, what are the 2 blanks?
World's only.
I've given you enough time. I need an answer now, PTC. Are you going to make a guess?
First person.
First person, okay? Not first person.
We'll guess Hindu Sheikh.
Hindu Sheikh is a wonderful answer, Nat and team. That's beautifully worked out. He is the world's only Hindu Sheikh. He was the Sheikh honor or title is not very easily given out, and he is the world's only Hindu Sheikh. That's a very vital 100 points by Nat and team to complete that rather nervy opening over in this semi-final of HDFC Life presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. Here is how the scorecard reads at this point of time. We have Nat and team on 200 points with their noses just ahead of PTC with 100 points. Long way to go in this quiz. The second round is coming up shortly. It's called Powerplay. Let's get right into it. Round 2, Powerplay. 8 questions on the buzzer. All the questions will need a sequence as the answer. I'll also tell you upfront that it may not be a linear sequence. So we might ask you, this is the first in a list, second in a list. The answer is not necessarily third in a list. Wait for me to complete the question. The answer could be the last in a list, right? Plus 100, minus 100 on the buzzer. And if you buzz and get it wrong, then there's a chance for the other team to take a shot at it for the same plus 100, minus 100. Now, the quiz is being brought to you by HDFC Life, one of India's leading life insurers. The concept of life insurance is to pay a small sum of money to protect against a large risk or an unfortunate event. The unfortunate event for the teams here is getting an answer wrong on the buzzer, and they can protect it by using or playing the HDFC Life Insurance card. You get plus 80 if you get it right, but if you get it wrong, you lose only 20 points. So play it very carefully, and Wait for me to complete the question unless you think you're very sure of the answer. If you interrupt me in between, I will stop reading the question. Ready to go into the power play? First question, we're going to show you two cricketers. If the person on the left went on the 4th ball and the person on the right on the 5th ball, who went on the 6th ball? Yes, Nat and team.
Yusuf Yohana, Irfan Pathan's hat-trick at Karachi.
And who are these two people?
Salman Butt and Yunus Khan.
Yusuf Yohana, otherwise known as?
Mohammad Yusuf.
Mohammad Yusuf for Yusuf Yohana, absolutely right. This is the famous Irfan Pathan hat-trick. Salman Butt on the 4th ball, Yunus Khan on the 5th ball, and Yusuf Yohana or Mohammad Yusuf on the 6th ball. Great answer. Plus 100, Nat and team. Next question, I'm going to read it out. If it was Kumar Dharmasena and Richard Kettleborough in 2015, Kumar Dharmasena and Murray Erasmus in 2019, which two gentlemen with the same first name was it for 2023? Okay, going for it. PTC.
Richard Illingworth and Richard Kettleborough.
100 points. Richard Illingworth, Richard Kettleborough, and the sequence, of course, is
World Cup umpires.
umpires in the World Cup final. Absolutely right. Richard Illingworth, Richard Kettleborough. Great answer. Plus 100 PTC. Next question, again I'm going to read it out. John White had 749 in 1929 versus Australia. Headley Verity had 766 versus South Africa 10 years later. Who tops the list with 774 against England in 1957? Nat and team.
We'll say
Need an answer? Minus 100. Minus 100, Nat and team. Minus 100. Do you want to play it quickly? 5 seconds.
Pass.
Pass. All right. John White 749, Headley Verity 766, 774, Sunny Ramadan, most balls bowled in a test. Okay, that's a minus 100 to Nat and team there. Nervy moments in this semi-final. Next question is a visual sequence. The first was the person on the left at the Ketarama Stadium. The penultimate was the person on the right. Who was the last? First was the person on the left at the Ketarama Stadium. The penultimate was the person on the right. Who was the last? Nat and team going for it.
Pragyan Ojha.
And what's the
Murali's
sequence?
800th wicket.
Murali's 800th wicket, absolutely right. Craig McDermott, Muralidharan's first wicket. Harbhajan Singh, Muralidharan's 799th wicket. And 800th wicket was India's Pragyan Ojha. 100 points pulled back by Nat and team. Question number 5. I'm going to read it out. Turkey got this dubious T20I record to their name on 29th August 2019. Just one day later, they worsened it against the Czech Republic. Which team that doesn't represent a country has it since 2023? Okay.
Isle of Man.
And the record is?
Shortest innings in T20.
2 runs.
What?
Like lowest score in T20.
Lowest score in T20Is. That's all I wanted. That's 100 points to Nat and team. Next question. So the previous question plus 100 to Nat and team. This sequence of losses started with the Pepsi Cup final against Pakistan in 1999. It continued till the Standard Bank Tri-Series final loss to South Africa. What broke this sequence? Nat and team. Answer.
Yeah, NatWest Series final in 2002 at Lords.
And what is the
Saurav
sequence?
Ganguly's captaincy loss.
Absolutely right. This is the NatWest final in 2002 and this is India's losing streak in ODI tournament finals. 100 points to Nat and team. Next question on the visual. Two visuals. The person on the left held this record from 91 to 2000. The one on the right held it for over a year till December 2001. Who has held it ever since? Yes?
Chaminda Vas.
And?
Best bowling analysis in ODI.
Perfect answer. Chaminda was best bowling figures in an ODI. The two players here being?
Aqib Javed, Muralidharan.
Aqib Javed, Muthaiya Muralidharan and Chaminda Vas's 8 is the best bowling figures in ODI cricket since December 2001. Another good 100 points to Nat and team. Last question coming up, PTC. Nat and team, ready? On the buzzer, I'm going to read it out. This record alternated between Clem Hill and Archie McLaren 6 times in the early 20th century. Yes, your answer is?
Most runs in test cricket. So they
Shrewsbury, Hill,
then
McLaren
you
and-
kept on getting the highest runs in test cricket.
What is the answer to the question I have? It's a sequence question. What is the answer?
So the most runs in test cricket
Sachin
now held
Tendulkar
by
is the
Sachin
holder.
Tendulkar.
What is your final answer?
Sachin
Tendulkar holding the most number of runs in test cricket.
I'm sorry, I'll have to give you a minus 100. You didn't let me complete my question. This record alternated between Clem Hill and Archie McLaren 6 times in the early 20th century. Which legend was the next to hold the record, now held by an Indian? 5 seconds.
I don't know the answer to that.
Passing you. Passing you, Jack Hobbs is what we wanted. It was the most test runs. If you had waited for one more second, you would have gotten to the answer. Tough luck. Very, very high-strung semi-final over here. Lots of action on the buzzer in that power play round. We are at the halfway point of this semi-final of HDFC Life presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. And at this point, the scoreboard's very exciting. Here is how it reads. We have Nat and Team on 600 points. We have Potoldanga Thunder Club at 100 points. But don't be swayed by that margin. It can very easily be made up in the blink of an eye because we have 2 more rounds left in this quiz. And these are 2 absolutely amazing teams. This is the halfway point of the quiz.
जीत का इंश्योरेंस करने के तो कई तरीके हैं, पर लाइफ में जीत की गारंटी करने के लिए HDFC लाइफ का क्लिक टू प्रोटेक्ट सुपर ही काम आएगा।
Going into round number 3 now, which is our middle overs. Round is here in this semi-final of HDFC Life presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. Time to take a look at the rules for round 3. Round 3 is our middle overs. This is where teams can consolidate, score some runs and be ready for the slog overs before they come and stay in contention for a spot in the grand finale of the first edition of HDFC Life presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. The middle overs play like this. There's a grid with 8 numbers that will appear. The questions are in some way related to that number. You get to choose 3 topics alternatingly starting with PTC. You do have the DRS option here again. So if you choose a number and you think you don't know the answer, you can exercise your DRS once in the round. You get 100 points on a direct or a pass, 30 seconds on the direct, 10 seconds on the pass, and part points if there are 2 parts. Let's see the numbers. 1956, 2, 14, 4, 1815, 12, 24, 18. What would you like?
1956.
1956. Okay. In a defeat against Surrey in 1956, Jim Burke involuntarily contributed to a historic performance. A few weeks later, he would be the odd man out in a historic match. What are we talking about?
Jim Burke was the only person.
Because
Lakers.
10-wicket haul.
10
First
wicket.
he took it in a match against Surrey, and then he repeated the fields against Australia.
Right.
And at a 19-wicket haul, so Jim Burke was the only one not dismissed. Only one not dismissed by.
Absolutely right. Perfect answer there by PTC. Great start to the middle overs. Jim Burke had been dismissed in the match against Surrey by Jim Laker, contributing to a 10-wicket haul. And then when Laker took 10 wickets again in the Manchester Test, Burke was the only person not dismissed by Jim Laker. His wicket was taken by Tony Locke. Well done, 100 points.
We'll go for 24.
You'll go for
24.
24. This iconic phrase associated with Wayne Rooney's first goal in the Premier League was most memorably used in 2016. Who used the phrase in the latter instance?
Ian Bishop, remember the name.
Ian Bishop, remember the name, and why is it under the number 24?
4 into 6, 24.
4 sixes by
Carlos Brathwaite.
Carlos Brathwaite. Remember the name, absolutely right. When Wayne Rooney scored his first goal in the Premier League, the commentator there said, remember the name Wayne Rooney. And Ian Bishop, of course, memorably on air at the Eden Gardens 2016 World T20 final. Carlos Brathwaite, after he hit 4 sixes to win the match for West Indies, said, remember the name. 100 points there to you, Nat and team. Back to you, PTC. And Prithvish, when you're giving the answers, please be a little louder so that we can hear you on the mic.
12.
12. The closest he came to playing for his country was as the 12th man for the 1955 Dhaka Test. Being dropped haunted him despite the stellar career and the success that surrounded him. Who is this person? The most unfortunate member of a famous 5.
Rakibul Hussain of East Pakistan, later captain Bangladesh in the 1979 ICC trophy.
Rakibul Hussain of East Pakistan. That is not what we're looking for. Incorrect. Passes.
Salim Mohammed.
Salim Mohammed. Okay, you got to, of course, the context of the answer. Absolutely right. Brother of Hanif, part of the Mohammed brothers family. The only one who didn't play was Rais Mohammed. Rais Mohammed. Tough luck on that one to both teams. Nat and team, your turn again. Nobody using the DRS so far. Remember, you have the option.
We'll go for 18.
18. Okay. In April 2004, white players in the Zimbabwe team went on strike. The board announced a new captain, Tatendra Taibu, and a new 14-member squad, which then uncapped 18-year-old was the only white member in that team. Remember this DRS? So
We will take the answer. We'll say Brendan Taylor.
Brendan Taylor is absolutely right. That will get you 100 points. It was Brendan Taylor. Very well done. Brendan Taylor it was. All right. Your pick, PTC.
14.
14. Andrew Strauss was famously Shane Warne's bunny. But which former England captain has Shane Warne dismissed most frequently 14 times in his test career?
DRS.
DRS. All right. Well played on the DRS. A guess would be?
Alex Stewart.
Is the right answer. It is the right answer. It is Alex Stewart. But you decided to go for a DRS. So DRS it is. 18, 15, 2 or 4?
2.
2. Okay. Catherine Bryce. Kathryn Bryce. Catherine Bryce became only the second woman from an associate nation to appear in the WPL. Which country is Catherine Bryce from? Answer.
USA.
USA. Incorrect. Passes. Nat Team.
We'll say Scotland.
Is the correct answer. 100 points to you. Scotland is absolutely right. Last question of the round coming up off the middle overs. Nat and Team into a healthy lead.
We'll take 4.
4. Freddie Flintoff has a memoir titled Blank, 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 covering a period bookended by 2 career highlights. The title may remind you about a famous quote about an Australian bowling pair. What is the title?
Ashes to Ashes.
And what's the, why does Flintoff call his memoir Ashes to Ashes?
2005 Ashes to 2009 Ashes. That was
Okay.
his golden period.
Okay.
He did really well. And the quote would be Ashes to Ashes, Dust to Dust.
And the quote, the complete quote would be?
If Lily doesn't get you, Thomo to must.
Lovely answer! Perfect answering by Nat and Team. Absolutely correct. If Lily won't, from ashes to ashes, dust to dust, if Lily won't get you, Thomo must. And Flintoff in the 2005 and 2009 Ashes, as he rightly said. 1 round remains. The slog overs remain in this semi-final of HDFC Life presents Jeet Ka Insurance Cricket Quiz. After 3 rounds, this is how the scoreboard reads. Here are the scores after 3 rounds of this semi-final. Potoldanga Thunder Club on 200 points, Nat and Team on 1000 points. We have 1 more round to go. Anything can happen. Round 4 are slog overs coming right up. Round 4 is here, the final round, the slog overs. This will determine who will book their place in the grand finale, PTC or Nat and Team. 8 questions on the buzzer, plus 100, minus 100 on buzzing, and on the second attempt if the team that buzzed got it wrong. And of course, remember, you can use the HDFC Life Insurance card once during this round for plus 80, minus 20. All the best, both teams. Again, my general warning would be, please allow me to read the question and then go for it so that you know exactly what I'm asking for. First question. Jane achieved this feat in 1997, 13 years before Ramesh did in 2010. Both these achievements were in India. What? Yes, PTC.
Double 100 in a ODI.
And these 2 people are?
Belinda Clark and Sachin Tendulkar.
And why are we saying Jane and Ramesh?
Middle name.
Middle
Their
names.
middle names, absolutely right. Well cracked there. Belinda Jane Clark, Sachin Ramesh Tendulkar, double century in ODIs, respectively at Mumbai and Gwalior. Well done. Plus 100. She was the fastest among both men and women, managing it in 38 balls in 2010. 7 years later, David did it in 35 balls in 2017. Who and what?
Deandra Doughton
Deandra Doughton
and fastest 100 in a
in
T20.
T20 ice. Please speak up, Prithvish. We can't hear you. 100 points there. Deandra Doughton, fastest T20 ice century. One common thing among these 2 questions you'll notice is that the first double century in ODIs was made by a woman cricketer. The fastest T20 ice century record for the longest time was with a woman cricketer across both men and women. So that's the focus we want to bring in over here. Next question. In T20Is, if it is fast bowler Asamawiya Iqbal for Pakistan women against England women in 2012, who achieved this feat for men in 2007 versus Bangladesh? This is a first of a kind. The first of a kind in T20Is, fast bowler Asamawiya Iqbal for Pakistan women versus England women. Yes.
Umar Gul and hat-trick in T20 internationals.
Minus 100. Nat and Team, not going. You got the exact fadda correct. First hat-trick in T20 internationals was by Brett Lee. It was by Brett Lee. That was a minus 100 to you, Team PTC. Tough luck. Next question. CK, Ajit, Virender for men in a particular sequence. If the same sequence for women, Shanta, Diana, blank. Yes, PTC.
Mithali and first Indian captain in ODI Test and T20.
Test ODI and T20, that's correct. CK Naidu, Ajit Vadekar, Virender Sehwag for men, Shanta Rangaswamy, Diana Idilji and Mithali Raj for women. PTC have hit the buzzer on pretty much every question so far. 4 questions to go, remember. If it was Prince Philip to Clive Lloyd in 1975, who was it to Rachel Hayhoe Flint in 1973? Going for it? Going for it? Yes, PTC?
Queen Elizabeth.
Incorrect. Minus 100. Tough luck. Are you going for it, Nat and team?
We'll take the HDFC Life Insurance
You want
card.
to play the HDFC Life Insurance card?
We'll say Princess Anne.
Princess Anne will get you 80 points. It is Princess Anne. Absolutely right. Not Queen Elizabeth. It's Princess Anne. Okay, 3 questions to go. The Jan 1997 New Zealand versus Pakistan women's ODI match resulted in a record which is 408. The equivalent record for men's ODIs is 317 and held by which team since 2023? Yes, PTC.
Nepal.
Incorrect. Minus 100. Nat and team.
We'll say India versus Sri Lanka, a margin of victory in a...
That is the right answer. Plus 100. The largest margin of victory in ODIs is higher in women's than in men's. New Zealand versus Pakistan, 408 in 1997. India holds the record for men's with the highest margin of victory by 317 runs. All right. 2 questions to go. The nickname of which Southern Hemisphere country's women's cricket team is the Lady Chevrons? Nat and team?
Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, very good. 100 points to you, Nat and team. The Lady Chevrons are from Zimbabwe. With that, we come into the final question of this riveting semi-final episode of HDFC Life presents Jeet Insurance Cricket Quiz. 2 amazing teams, Potoldanga Thunder Club and Nat and team have shown us what cricket quizzing is all about. The questions are not just statistical trivia, but involve a lot more related to history and literature and other aspects of cricket. And you can see why these 2 are among the 4 best teams in the country. Last question coming up. Which cricketing great plays the same role for Mumbai Indians that Luke Williams does for RCB in the WPL? PTC.
Charlotte Edwards.
And what does she do?
Team director and coach of.
Absolutely right. Charlotte Edwards, team director and coach for Mumbai Indians in the WPL, and Luke Williams for RCB in the WPL. All right, that's the end of this semi-final episode. Time to take a final look at the scoreboard and see which team marches into the final of HDFC Life presents Jeet Insurance Cricket Quiz First Edition. Here are the scores. Potoldanga Thunder Club, the 2 gentlemen from Mumbai, fantastic quizzers, Dipanjan Dev, Prithvish Datta finish on 300 points, but playing this very tactically, very carefully, using their DRSs and their HDFC life insurance cards very cleverly, winning today's semi-final and marching into the final are Varun Mitra and Ramesh Natarajan, Nat and team on 1,280 points. Time to congratulate the teams. Well played, guys. Tough luck. Tough luck. Great game. And congratulations. We'll see you in the final.
Thank you.